Oh, it's not start time yet. Yeah. Good morning, friends. Good morning. My name is Trish Cowan Williams. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm honored to welcome you to the Ethical Society of St. Louis. We are an ethical humanist community where people come together to explore big questions, live with intention, and work toward a more just and compassionate world. We're in our spring series, Empowered Together, where we're exploring what it means to affirm human dignity and build a community where everyone truly belongs. This morning, we'll reflect on how access, care, and mutual support shape whether people are able to fully participate in community life. Through Sara Ruiz's work with the Ashrei Foundation, we'll be invited to consider how something as simple as an ID card, legal support, or a responsive community network can become a matter of dignity, safety, and belonging. At the Ethical Society, we believe that ethical action begins with recognizing our shared humanity and working together to remove barriers that keep people from thriving. As we begin today, please take a moment to silence your devices so we can be fully present with one another. Thank you. Today, we're joined by Home Remedy. They are a local singer-songwriter duo of Melinda Monroe and Cindy Minnis. They're centering us this morning with an original song, Change. Let's welcome them again.
So, as a songwriter, it's such a humbling privilege, honestly, to be able to put some words out into the world that used to just live in our heads. And this is a song that we love to sing, that was inspired by the idea that we need to listen to each other. Let a flower change us. It's only got a minute till it's gone. And how will its beauty carry on? Unless the color survives and a revolution starts. Let the beauty of a flower change our hearts. Let a conversation and a different way to see change the way we view who's family and who we can hear. We'll open the blinds. Let a different conversation change our minds, change our hearts, change our minds. Let love change us. The compassion we receive, unreserved in the stories that we weave, is a shifting mirror in our souls' archives. Let compassion and love change our lives, change our hearts, change our minds, change our lives, change our hearts, change our minds, change our lives, 'cause we are changed. We are changed by love.
Such a simple and powerful message. Thank you very much. That was beautiful. Our next segment, Stories of Ourselves, provides an opportunity to connect more deeply with one another by sharing our stories. This morning, we will be hearing from member Peter Bogetto, and please join me in welcoming Peter.
Thank you, everyone. Well, guess who forgot he was giving opening words today? So this should be quite the pleasure for you and for me. When I joined the Ethical Society, I joined the meditation and a mindfulness group. And during that group one day, someone said to me, "Have you ever had a spiritual experience?" And I foolishly said, "No." And then I thought about it, and I thought, good grief, I have spiritual experiences all the time, just like all of you do. You know, it's that morning sunrise. It's awesome. I only see the sunrise through my windows from March until October, and then it's gone too far to the south. So if I wanted to see it, I have to run outside. But it's an awesome experience just to watch until it gets to that point where it starts to come through my windows in great streams. And I think the world is waking up. Everyone's waking up. Everything is alive. And our humanity is alive, but also is nature and everything that we see. So I have that spiritual experience almost every morning if I remember to get up. There are other spiritual experiences that we have almost every day. And all we have to do is to be aware of them. So I'm going to give you a quote from a talk that was given by Kate Lovelady to the New York Ethical Society on June 8th, 2003, in which she talked about spirituality and spiritual experiences for humanists. She describes it as a feeling, as one woman told her, that everything is right and I'm in the right place. It's often a moment when we experience awe and wonder and sense of meaningfulness. It's almost always a moment when we feel fully present and focused. So, I hope that all of you will have those spiritual experiences today and be focused and mindful when you have them. Thank you.
That was pretty darn good on the fly, my gosh. Woo! It really hits home. Thank you, Peter. Each week, we read our youth education core values as a way to bring us together and remind us of our shared commitments. Our youth are downstairs having fun on summer break, so I'll go ahead and read them today. Feel free to join me if you would like. Every person is important and unique. Every person deserves to be treated fairly and kindly. I can learn from everyone. I am part of this earth. I cherish it and all the life upon it. I learn from the world around me by using my senses, mind, and feelings. I am a member of the world community, which depends on the cooperation of all people for peace and justice. I can learn from the past to build for the future. I am free to question. I am free to choose what I believe. I accept responsibility for my choices and actions. I strive to live my values. Beautiful job. Now I get to applaud you. That was so nice. Oh my gosh. So I feel like that and the music and Peter, we're just having some great affirmations this morning. Next, we will welcome back Home Remedy for their second original tune from Melinda Monroe, 1,000 Ways.
I love following that statement of values because this song was written out of a desire to pledge that we can do what we can do. We can take responsibility for how we show up in the world and how we are present for others. In 1,000 ways the world could hurt you, send you spinning, crash you down. Take your spaces, leave you lonely, wound your spirit, shake your ground. 1,000 ways the world could hurt you, I will not be one. Of the 1,000 ways the world could hurt you, sideways glances, staring eyes, words to shoot you, looks to pierce you, pointed anger, myths and lies. 1,000 ways the world could hurt you, I will not be one. If we rise above our fear,
Won't be afraid.
rise above my fear. If we rise above and we stand as one, then maybe more will come. 1,000 ways the world could hurt you, crush your trying, feed your doubt, never see you, never know you, flee in silence, sell you out. 1,000 ways the world could hurt you, I above our fear.
Don't be afraid.
Rise above my fear.
I won't be
If we
afraid.
rise above and we stand as one, then maybe more will come. 1,000 ways the world could hurt you, never see you, never know you. 1,000 times the world will hurt you. It will not be me.
Really speaking to our hearts this morning. Thank you so much. That's beautiful. Before our main address, let's go ahead and pause and reset our attention. Allow your body to release any tension you may be holding and give your mind permission to set aside what can wait as we share one silent minute to prepare ourselves to listen clearly and reflect thoughtfully. Thank you all. That was nice. Sara Ruiz, she, her, is the executive director of the Ashrei Foundation, where she works to remove barriers that prevent people from fully participating in community life. Through programs like the North City Photo ID Project and the Rapid Response Hotline supporting immigrant communities, Ashrei helps connect people with critical resources, safety, and support. Before joining Ashrei, Sara spent 6 years leading the St. Louis Interfaith Committee on Latin America, advocating for immigrant rights and community justice. A St. Louis native, she brings deep experience in organizing, advocacy, and accompaniment work rooted in human dignity and collective care. As part of our spring series, Empowered Together, Sara invites us to consider what it means to build communities where access, safety, and belonging are treated not as privileges, but as shared responsibilities. Please join me in welcoming Sara Ruiz.
Good morning. I am so excited to be here. Is that right still? Am I good? As you know, my name is Sara. I am the director of Ashrei, and I am just really excited to be here and to be part of the conversations that you are all having. It has been a really exciting journey to be part of Ashrei in its creation and in its inception, and really has given such a rich opportunity to think about how we build something different than where we are right now. And so I want to maybe invite you to sort of go on a journey with me about thinking through what some of that looks like in our community. And I want to start with this image. I would like us maybe to explore various elements of what's going on in what is obviously a rather simple image at face value. So as we go through this, exercise, experiment maybe, I would invite you to think about all the details that we could imagine if we were here, right? The sounds, the textures, the smells, the vibes that you might get in a scene such as this. Here we see a small child, right, reaching for an apple. But unlike like some of us, she's just not quite tall enough. Generally, though, I think things look pretty good here. Maybe if you use some of your creative energy, right? Things look pretty good here, right? Juicy apples, healthy green grass, the sun is shining. But the apples, right? The apples that here represent things like nourishment, right? They will nourish her body and give her fuel for the day's activities, are just beyond reach. Things aren't always quite so pretty, though, right? Sometimes the only fruits available to us are rotten. Maybe the soil wasn't properly cared for, or maybe bugs or disease impacted the tree's growth. But maybe she can't even see the rotten fruit. Maybe from the ground, it still looks juicy and good. But if she ever manages to reach one of those apples, she'll be left with something void of nutrients, and in fact, something that might even cause her harm. Often we find ourselves even further away from the apple. Sometimes fences and walls, barriers of all kinds are put up between us and the fruit. Sometimes we can't find the gate or find that it is locked, blocking us from getting to the tree entirely. Maybe there are instructions, signs, information that you need to understand in order to get to the apples, but they're written or displayed in a way that you can't comprehend. Other times we might find that people stand in our way. Maybe they're guarding the tree, or maybe trying to control it, or keep it safe, or make sure that only certain kinds of people are able to get an apple. And still other times, perhaps most frequently these days, money stands in the middle. Maybe we have to buy the apple. Maybe we have to buy a pass to access the orchard where that tree grows, which of course wouldn't necessarily mean that we'd actually manage our way to find the apple on the tree once we're in. And some days, really big systems get in our way. Maybe it's a terrible thunderstorm, bad temperatures, or even, as we know all too well in this community, even a natural disaster. So many things can block us from accessing what we need in order to live healthy and joyful lives. Sometimes they stack up, layer upon layer of obstacles, of barriers. Some are acute, immediate, sort of right in front of us, right? And some are much bigger, things like property rights, economic systems, even climate change. All of these often what feels like really huge systems that exclude us and deny us our basic dignity. This is a very different picture than what we started with, but this isn't a complete perspective either. So let's look again. Because sometimes when you're just a little too short, all you need is a ladder. And for folks like me, a couple inches goes a really long way. Or maybe a temporary solution, like an umbrella, can help us navigate challenging barriers, even without removing them entirely. And we can also think much bigger about what happens to this scenario when we look at a bigger ecosystem, when the ground is fertile, well cared for, when it enjoys the benefits of pollinating insects, sufficient nutrients, adequate sunlight, more, all of the things, right? All of those conditions necessary for that juicy, delicious, and plentiful harvest. We can even find examples of community spaces that ensure our planet's natural resources are available to everyone, where the labor is shared and the fruits are enjoyed collectively. When all of these elements come together, we start to see an even different kind of picture, and we can imagine and sometimes even experience a different kind of community, one that thrives and ensures that all people and creatures and the planet that we inhabit are coexisting in ways that enable each of us to reach our fullest potential. So when I think about building community and I think about access at Ashrei means justice, and it means dignity, and it means power. So where do we fit in? It's a little heady. I'm starting a little, some of you are like, she never does this. This is a little heady, right? But I'm trying to help really drive us into the space where we're thinking intentionally about what we're building right here and right now. At Ashrei, we sort of see this busy ecosystem and look at ways that we can get involved both in direct services, right? Who's bringing the ladder? Who's bringing the bug spray, as my son reminded me. He's not a fan of stinging insects, though he recognizes their value in our community, right? But we work across the systems, right, to build those direct and immediate responses, but also find ways that we are challenging, analyzing, and then challenging those big systems behind it, right? So Ashrei exists to empower and activate the St. Louis community and partners throughout the state to promote economic justice, relieve suffering, and interrupt cycles of poverty. Ashrei is, for those of you that don't know, Ashrei is a Hebrew word. It's, in fact, the first word in the book of Psalms, and it means to move forward. It's an action word. It's a verb, right? And it means forward towards a space of happiness and fulfillment, right? Of plenty. So Ashrei works to move our community forward on the path towards abolishing all systems of economic exclusion and oppression to that kind of future a few slides ago, where all people may live with dignity, justice, and freedom. And I want to speak briefly about a few of our programs. We operate core and responsive programming. And our core program started in the space of photo ID access. As many of you know, Ashrei began operations in 2022 when the Missouri legislature passed House Bill 1878, among other things. We'll leave that conversation for another day. But we found ourselves at an intersection of what was already existing and what changed because of that law and what were the needs. As some of you know, I've lost my click. Thank you. Just do a little on-off switch here and make sure that works. As some of you know, more than 26 million American adults do not have a photo ID. And for many of those, it is nearly impossible to get. There's been phenomenal work done nationwide and even locally, thanks to some local experts. I know Denise Lieberman is no stranger to this crowd. But I think when we look at the systemic barriers to photo IDs, we can talk about burdensome documentation requirements, the needlessly high financial costs, the limited availability of services, the confusing patchwork of policies, and certainly, of course, discrimination. So the Photo ID project that we launched in 2022 started in direct partnership and collaboration with St. Francis Xavier College Church, the Jesuit parish on SLU's campus. College Church has run the longest-standing ID and birth certificate program in the state. They've been doing this for over 30 years as part of their parish ministry and sort of social outreach work. But following the passage of 1878, the College Church was overextended, right? The people were saying, oh my gosh, but now all of these people not only can't get an ID, but because they can't, they're not going to be able to vote. And what are we going to do around that? And so Ashrei was asked, could you take our model and put it into this community where we can't reach? Let me tell you, as a new ED, I was like, golden, you've done all the work and you want me just to replicate it? Like, no problem. And here we are, almost 5 years later. We now run a weekly photo ID program, continuing our deep partnership with College Church in multiple ways. Just last week, we served 60 people on one day in Missouri. What the clinic does, how many of you have ever volunteered at our photo ID clinic? I know some of you have. Wonderful. What the program does is provide financial and logistical assistance for anyone who walks through our doors to help them get a photo ID, right? When was the last time you used your ID? Say that one more time. Like in the last week? Sure. Anytime, yeah. What did you use it for? Enjoyment, we might say. We do, in fact, need IDs to access joy at some times. It's valid. I want to have joy. What else? Doctor's office, medical care, a flight, travel, transportation. Who's worked in the last week or so? You had to have an ID for that, even if you didn't show it at your job when you got that job. We had to fill out some paperwork. So the photo ID is now this sort of centerpiece for accessing any multitude of aspects of our daily existence, right? Jobs, housing, medical care, banking, financial services, education, and so much more. In a couple months, our clinic is going to be overwhelmed with parents who are trying to get their IDs and their children's birth certificates so they can enroll them in school in the fall, right? And so the ways that we think about how this permeates either helpfully and sometimes dysfunctionally, right? It limits and excludes our ability to access all of these things. Then making sure that everyone can get an ID and maintain it once they have it becomes a matter of justice. We've also seen, I'm thinking about this 1 year date that we are around for those of you that were here a year ago when the tornado hit. The ways that the tornado intersected with photo IDs and what recovery looks like, and the ways recovery was limited because people didn't have IDs, which were often destroyed in said tornado, but then needed an ID in order to access the emergency resources or enroll in the programs that would literally help them rebuild a roof on their home, right? Just adds another layer of why access to these small things like a little plastic card with your picture on it can have such transformative implications. It's also become really clear to me, and thanks to our partnership with College Church that brought us into this space with so much knowledge and information and experience, right? That it doesn't matter if we open a photo ID clinic on every corner or in every house of worship or in every school, it won't be enough, right? The solution is not to make sure everyone is doing all of the access work all the time so that everyone can get an ID. The solution is to make sure our systems make that automatic, make it not a barrier, but just part of what we get by existing, right? And that is where the Missouri State ID Access Coalition comes in. The coalition was founded by College Church and now gets to live at Ashrei. We serve as the backbone organization. Still in deep partnership with College Church, but looking how we expand beyond the capacity of one parish and looking more statewide. Through this coalition work, we have funded over 35 organizations across the state that are doing ID access and assistance services. And this past legislative session, we had 2 bills introduced that would have made photo identification free for all Missourians. So look for those again in 2027 because that is part of a solution as well. I'm also going to plug that if you're like, what is she talking about? I really feel like I could learn more about photo IDs. Lucky for you, we will have our annual Missouri ID Access Summit this October, and it will be right here in St. Louis at the International Institute. So if you haven't come to one of those yet, I would encourage you to do so. I think it is an opportunity not only for transformation, but figuring out how you plug in to what this work looks like. But IDs aren't the only apple, if you will. A lot of our work in the last year and a half, maybe 2 years at this point, has looked at a different orchard or maybe a different grove in the same orchard. I'm at my limits of agricultural metaphors at this point. But when we look at the increase in immigration enforcement in our region, the increase in immigrant hate in our region, then we see a whole new set of systems that are excluding and denying dignity of our families and our neighbors and our communities. There are so many people trying to reach that fruit and oftentimes face insurmountable barriers, or what feels alone as an insurmountable barrier. In coalition with several others, the Rapid Response Hotline launched in February of 2025 that stands on the shoulders of decades of work that some of you have been involved in, Nancy, for a really long time, that made this possible, to come together quickly in a time of crisis and say, what's missing in our community? Where are people going to feel this harm and not feel care? And part of that was that they would have access to information, access to someone who will witness what they're surviving, witness the injustice, assist in navigating the harmful systems that govern so much of our lives, access resources, skills, and knowledge, all so that individuals who are most impacted by what is happening in our community can make more informed decisions for themselves and their families amidst the chaos that threatens their very existence. The Rapid Response Hotline is operated by volunteers from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., 7 days a week. That is approximately 84 hours a week, in case you were doing math. It takes a massive amount of volunteer capacity and support and energy and time and emotional resilience and heart to do this work. The hotline provides a variety of sort of supports, right? The biggest one, the most common call we receive is, my husband went to work and didn't get there, and I don't know where he is. And the first step then is locating a loved one. Where are they? And those of you that have been in St. Louis for a minute understand that if you drive 2 miles, starting in, I don't know, Overland and head west, there's a good chance you're going to go through about 6 different police departments, and if you're on 70, maybe the highway patrol. And so, like, the locating of someone, even in the immediate, where they pulled over, who pulled them over, and where are they being held, takes a pretty good mystery-solving creativity and time, right? And once then that they are arrested and transferred to Immigration and Customs Enforcement, there's another wave of locating that happens as they get moved to downtown, processed, and then sent out to one of the county jails in Missouri that contracts with ICE. Currently, we're seeing that folks are going first to St. Genevieve and then spend time moving around and usually end up in Springfield and Greene County Jail before they're then taken out of state, before they are then loaded onto a plane or a bus and removed from this country. When Ashrei looks at all of these pieces, right, something becomes very clear. We cannot care for the whole orchard or all of the orchards alone. When we look at what it really takes to change how our community is existing and feeling, it means that I have to rely on the success of others in order for us to be successful. I cannot build a vision for my community that is only resting and relying on me, because that's not what community is. That's not how it ever works. It is, in fact, inherently tied to whether or not you are successful in what you do and what you bring into that community. So when we think about what are the conditions we need for a community that is rooted in care and access, right? And a community that we can reach, that everyone can reach all the apples and have plenty more to give to people who can't reach them. It is inherently beyond any one organization's mission, and that means that we constantly have to invest in each other. Ashrei continuously seeks ways to practice these values. I recognize, sometimes frustratingly so, that we are part of a broken and flawed system as a nonprofit. But we are resisting the pieces of that are harmful to the extent possible and transforming from within And when that's no longer a tool that serves our vision, we will let it go, right? I think when we think about moving in this way, it means that I'm not going to compete for resources with another organization. I'm not going to compete for volunteers and donors, because if you find contributing to me or contributing to the Micah Project or contributing to your community in a million different ways is where you're called, then that is what our community needs. And that is what I ask and challenge you. So as we work towards building this kind of community, I'm going to invite you maybe to think about three ways that you could maybe step in or go a little deeper in the ways that you are already in and involved. Learning and education, I think, is a lifelong commitment. Can I get an amen? And so if you're not actively doing that, and if it's not part of your daily or weekly routines, I would challenge you to find a way to do so. You could start with the blog on Ashrei's website. We regularly update with news articles, with activities and events that we're having, and sharing research and results and things like that. You can just start there, right? It's not comprehensive. You're not going to read everything about everyone all the time, but it's a starting point, right? If you haven't looked at the Micah Project's Standing Together guide, I would encourage you to look that up. It's sort of designed as a curriculum to walk you as an individual or as a small group or as a broader community into a space of involvement and engagement in immigration justice. There's also a multitude of experts, and we have a lot of this summarized on our website. So Dr. Austin Coker is a professor at Syracuse University who came to St. Louis in March and really just opened so many minds and hearts, I think, about the role of data and how do we understand what's really happening with immigration here. Largely with his support, and the support of our Coro Fellow who just finished 2 weeks ago, Ashrei is launching a public dashboard, so you can see the webinar currently on our website and the slides that introduce it, but it is a place for you to access clear, simple, and easy data to understand what immigration enforcement looks like in our region. Who is involved more, who's involved less, and how you can take action then to interrupt when it feels wrong. The second invitation is to volunteer and to donate. Certainly, we have copious amounts of volunteer opportunities at Ashrei with the North City Photo ID Project and the Rapid Response Hotline. Some of you, I remember, were at the Ending the Police to ICE pipeline event that the Micah Project organized along with ACLU and Missouri Worker Center last week. There is ample work to, if you weren't there, don't stress. The time is still fresh and urgent, and it is now, for you to figure out what is your police, what are your communities doing with immigration enforcement. And if it's an open-ended question and you don't know the answer to, that's where you can start. You can ask questions and learn what it looks like right in your community. And when the answers you get are insufficient, then I invite you into relationship with those of us who are working to make sure that the answers we get reflect the values and the communities that we want to be a part of. The third one is supporting and amplifying local organizations. There are so many incredible efforts happening in our community, and we truly need all of them to be successful. We are looking for ways to do that from within. In deep partnership, we are trying to transform the way we do grants and fundraising and even training, and doing them together, right? So, some of you were at a training we did last year with, it was a volunteer training for 4 different volunteer programs that were run by 4 different organizations, and we came together with one sign-in sheet, and because we don't need to fight for you. We are fighting with you against something else. So we are trying to figure out how that looks. That also means sometimes you should send me an email and be like, girl, that volunteer form was awful. Please simplify it. Don't make me do it that way, right? That was not it. Other times, you should send me an email and be like, thank God we got one form and I am now plugged into 6 different organizations. That was so easy. That's what we're going for. It should be easy for people like us to change what our community looks like. So if you don't know where or how, or you want to go somewhere else in that work that you're doing, I invite you to think about the orchard and to think about where you're called. My mom is probably not called to be on a ladder. It's not her favorite place to be. But she will plant seeds until her fingers are blistered, right? My dad could probably write you some articles about what kind of nutrients need to be in the soil, and I will glaze over and miss 90% of it. Some people will fill the orchard with music that centers our souls and grounds our spirits. There is room in this orchard for everyone, and if you don't know where you are, turn to someone next to you and find out. Thank you.
That was phenomenal, truly. It makes me think back to Melinda's song, 1,000 Ways the World Could Hurt Us. And you offered 1,000 ways that the world could help us and 1,000 ways that we could help the world. And it was just perfect. Thank you so much. Really, really nice. At the Ethical Society of St. Louis, our mission shapes everything we do, from Sunday platforms to youth programs, music, service, and partnerships in the wider community. Our work is sustained through the generosity of our members and friends, and thank you for that. Today's split collection supports the ongoing life of the Ethical Society as well as the programs at the Ashrei Foundation. The collection baskets and the QR code on the screen are simple ways to engage in financial support. Every contribution helps bring our missions to life. If you'd like to stay connected to our community, we invite you to subscribe to our weekly newsletter for updates on upcoming programs, service opportunities, and ways to get involved. And, trunk or junk. So today is a free community event full of treasure hunting, upcycling, and neighborly fun. Sell, buy, trade, and swap today in the parking lot after platform. Volunteers, I guess we don't need volunteers this late in the game. But be sure to thank Holly Brubaker when you see her, because she put a lot of work into this. And now, Home Remedy will send us off with a lovely and familiar tune. Please join me in welcoming Home Remedy back to the stage.
I've heard this song. This song was written when I was 5, so it goes pretty far back. And I'm sure you all know this, so feel free to sing along. Think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand, put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late, oh please don't hesitate, put a little love in your heart. And the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Another days go by, still the children cry, put a little love in to know we won't let hatred grow. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait.
You just wait.
Take a good look around, and if you're feeling down, put a little love in your heart. I hope when you decide, kindness will be your guide. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait.
You just wait
and see.
Put a little love in your heart.
Our people now,
Just put a little love in your heart.
each and every day,
Put a little love in your heart.
there's no other way.
Put a little love in your heart.
It's up to you.
Put a little love in your heart.
Come on and
Put a little love in your heart.
come on and
Put a little love in your heart.
people now, put a little love in your heart.
What a beautiful version of that. Thank you. Nice way to leave us empowered and uplifted, too. Really beautiful. So thank you, Home Remedy, for providing reflection and hope through your very powerful musical selections today. Thank you to Sara for inviting us to consider what it means to build communities where dignity is not abstract, but lived through access, care, and mutual responsibility. And Peter, thank you for speaking to us today and sharing from your heart. It was very nice. This morning's platform reminded us that barriers many people face are often invisible to those who do not encounter them directly. Yet small acts of support, advocacy, and solidarity can profoundly shape whether someone is able to move safely and fully through the world. After platform, we invite you downstairs for coffee, conversation, shopping, and trading. There are stairwells on either side of the building and an elevator here on the west side. You can learn more about our community at the visitors table downstairs or explore humanism and ethics by borrowing from our lending library. As you move into the week ahead, may you find moments to practice courage with compassion, to approach others with dignity and care, to remember that we do not face life alone, and to put a little love in your heart. Thank you for being here this morning. We look forward to seeing you again soon.